What's up everybody, Super Dorks fan here for another car review. This is of course a 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe, but this isn't just any ordinary Tahoe. This one is the HSV Supercharged Sport Edition. So huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevrolet for hooking me up with this very awesome and very unique Chevy Tahoe to review for you guys today. So about this Sport Edition Supercharged Chevy Tahoe, well this thing is putting out 500 horsepower from an SLP supercharger. It has a custom tune as well, and as you can see it has the custom grille there in the front that's painted body color, and it has lowering springs. It's 2 inches lower in the front and 3 inches lower in the rear, and it has an axle back exhaust as well, and yeah, it's a pretty sweet package here, and I mean, you know, it gives it a really healthy bump. 500 horsepower is quite a lot more than stock, so you know, almost like 150 horsepower upgrade, and so yeah, I just think it looks really cool. Of course, 2015 Tahoes are very handsome looking trucks, and this one, especially in this diamond pearl white color, is just a very nice looking SUV. Right, for the interior of the 2015 Chevy Tahoe, this one is the LTZ model, which is the top of the line, and this one is loaded. It's just super nice in here, and it's really impressive actually. So first things first, getting into this truck, obviously very heavy doors. I mean, it's a big, huge SUV, and it feels very solid, and of course, like any SUV should. And so you sit down in these seats, and they're nice seats. They're comfortable and soft, and you know, give you a great seating position. Of course, this isn't a performance car. It's, you know, it's not. The original Chevy Tahoe isn't designed to go fast. Obviously this one does because of the supercharger, but you know, so these seats, I mean, I can wiggle all over the place and, you know, do whatever in them, but you know, they're set up for comfort, not for, you know, aggressive, you know, corner carving, so that is totally fine. They're plenty good for a Chevy Tahoe, that's for sure. Next is the steering wheel in this car, which is really nice, you know, and I actually like the design of it because it's not cluttered with a million buttons. You know, it's very clean design, and you know, it has the contrast stitching. Of course, you know, it's not a very beefy wheel, but like, again, this is an SUV, so I can't expect it to be like a sports car, and it's a very nice wheel though. Next is the gauges in the Tahoe, which are very nice, simple, easy to read. You know, you have your basic tachometer, speedometer, your auxiliary gauges above it, and then you have a nice color screen right there in the middle, which will display all your basic information that, you know, you're accustomed to these days in brand new cars. And it'll also give you your navigation instructions if you're running navigation. It'll also show, you know, your song titles and things like that if you're listening to music. And, you know, nice little high resolution screen there. I really like it. Speaking of screens, coming along to the center of the dashboard here, that's where you have your large touch screen, your primary screen here, and I really like it. It's very high resolution, similar to the stuff in all the other Chevys, and I like that. It's really a good system. It's clean, it's simple, easy to use. There's not a million things to press. It's just straightforward, and I think that's very refreshing actually. And you know, I really like it. And it's not that, you know, it's simple, but it has tons of features. You can still do, you know, weather and things like that. It'll even play the videos that are playing on the rear screen if you're parked and all that kind of stuff. It's a really great screen. I like it a lot. Coming along to the rest of the buttons here on the center of the dashboard, you know, you have your radio controls, which are all very nice and high quality feeling, and then you have your climate controls down here, which are similar to the SS that I reviewed, where it has little screens built into the actual knobs for the climate controls. I think that is really cool. I like that a lot, and you know, everything is very high quality, straightforward, and I like it a lot. As far as storage space goes in the Tahoe, it's exceptional, of course, because it's a huge SUV, and that's what these things are made for, is for hauling stuff around. So, all kinds of little cubbies. First, you have large map pockets here on the doors with several bottle holders there, and I mean, you can fit all kinds of stuff. There's also a second tier to it in the door where there's another small little space in the upper part of the door you can put some stuff in, and then you come along to the center of the car here, and that's where you'll see another little map pocket you can put some stuff in. And then you have this cubby here, which has 2 USB jacks, and it has, you know, a nice tray to put your phone in. It also has a power outlet, all that kind of stuff. Then behind that you have 2 cup holders, which is awesome. And then you have a little tray on top of the center console here, which is nicely padded and it's great for resting your elbow on. And then you open it up and it is massive. I mean, it's like the size of a small refrigerator in here. You can fit like 2 gallons of milk or something. I mean, as you can see, there's all kinds of stuff in here and you can just fit a massive amount. And then you have 2 more USB jacks. You have an auxiliary jack, you have an SD card slot, and another power outlet. So, I mean, the amount of power outlets and USB jacks in this car is amazing. Just whenever you thought that that was a ton of storage space, there's one more, and it's the same trick they used in the 2015 Chevy Corvette that I reviewed, where you hit this button and the screen raises up and gives you a huge cubby with another USB jack for a total of 5 in this car, and that's just for the front seat occupants, by the way. And there's a huge, nice cubby, and you can store some stuff in there, and then you just hit the button, and then the screen comes right back down, and a very cool setup. I love that feature. Back seats in the Tahoe, of course, are very spacious, and you have 2 rows of back seats. It's a 3-row seating SUV here, so you have captain's chairs there for the second row, which are very nice and comfortable and spacious, of course. And they even have, a little TV that flips down and all that good stuff. They have some more auxiliary and USB and power outlets, all that kind of stuff back there. It's awesome. I'm sure this will be an amazing road trip car. And then you have the third row, which is, currently folded down, but, plenty of space back there. I mean, it's a big SUV, so you have lots of room for everybody. Of course, also, being that this is a big SUV, storage space in the back is amazing, as far as trunk space is concerned. Lots and lots of stuff with that huge hatch. You can fit just about anything in there, and it's just obviously a very good car for that kind of stuff. All right, so start up and go for a drive. The 2015 Tahoes, they just have a key fob here. It's very nice and high quality. It has a good weight to it. Anyway, you just leave that in your pocket, hit the start button, and it starts right up. Alright, so setting off in the 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe HSV Supercharged Sport Edition. So, first thing you notice is, of course, you have a very commanding view of the road because you're sitting very high up, and, it's an SUV, and, even with the lowered ride height, you still feel like you're sitting up really high. But speaking about that lowered ride height, it rides very comfortably just like a standard Tahoe would, and it's, very comfortable. It's very quiet in here. It's refined, and, obviously great visibility with the large windshield, large side windows, and, it says blind spot monitoring as well, all that good stuff. And rear visibility is very good as well. It's just very far back there, but, you have the nice big rear window. And, it's a very comfortable, truck just to cruise along in and kind of relax. One other thing I can say right off the bat is that the steering is a nice way. It has a good feel to it, actually. It has a slight artificial feel, but overall it's a really good feeling, steering feel. And one thing is the gas pedal is very heavy, and that kind of delays the throttle response. It's obviously, again, I'm using my enthusiast-minded standards, and obviously I have to completely look at this car from a different perspective because it's an SUV. It's a big SUV, and yes, it has a supercharger on it, but its primary focus is to be a nice, comfortable SUV. So, everything's just a little bit different. Obviously, it's not going to feel like a sports car, but that's okay because it's a very nice riding truck. All right, so before we go on some back roads, let's just turn onto this main road here and see how it does. You can hear that sucking into the induction sound. So like I said, this is a 5.3 liter supercharged V8. It's an SLP supercharger. It has a cold air induction system, which is that sucking sound you're kind of hearing in combination with the supercharger. And it's really impressive, though. I have to say, it pulls hard. 500 horsepower we're dealing with here, and it's obviously got plenty of pull. The one thing that surprised me, though, is it feels so much like it's stock, like this is a factory car, and that it doesn't have a supercharger on it, just because normally, with aftermarket superchargers, there's tons of whine, and even a lot of stock, manufacturer superchargers have lots of whine. I think if you would have told me that this wasn't, if you would have said this isn't supercharged, I would have believed you, because it's fast, but It doesn't really have much of that standard supercharger sound, but it pulls really hard, and it's actually, the transmission is fairly eager to downshift and give you that power too. It's not like it's withholding anything. You just step on it and boom, it goes. You can kind of tell the supercharger doesn't really come on super strong until a little later on in the power band. I'd say, maybe around 2,500 RPMs is when you really start getting that pull. But this 5.3 liter V8 has lots of great low end torque. It's got that big block feel of low torque that, you don't really need to even prod it too much for it to just want to take off. It's got lots of torque and it just feels awesome. Dip into the throttle a little bit again. It's a sound unlike any I've ever heard. That induction sound, it's crazy. It sounds so cool though. I love that. That's awesome. But anyway, so now we're on a few little corners here. Nothing crazy, but it handles really well. It's not super top heavy. It doesn't feel like it's rolling all over the place like some other SUVs. Obviously the lowered ride height helps with this. It's such a nice handling SUV. It's just so tight feeling. It doesn't feel loose like some of the older SUVs and stuff. They felt really loose, and like you had no confidence going into corners at all. This thing really does keep itself buttoned down well, and you're not like sitting here like, should I be going this fast in a corner? Because it can handle it. It's pretty good. And turning onto this road again. It's so quick. It really is. For how big of a SUV this thing is, for it to get up and go like that, it's impressive. Obviously, it's not going to be as wild as a sports car or something, but it pulls really strong. It's awesome. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to drive this truck around for a little while longer here, and I'll come back and give you some updated impressions. Alright, so I've been driving this car around for a while now, and it's really nice. There's not a whole lot of other things to add, honestly. There's no gripes that have come along, in the time that I've been driving it here. I've just been kind of thinking about how much of a good value this car is, because, the Supercharger and this whole Sport Edition kit isn't cheap. This one adds about 15 grand to the price of whatever Tahoe you choose. Obviously, this one is a fully loaded LTZ, but you could do it with a lower model and save some money that way. It's really a good value, because really, what other performance SUVs are there? There's the Porsche Cayenne, the Porsche Macan, you have the BMW X5M, X6Ms, all that kind of stuff that are, quick SUVs, but there's really, not a whole lot, and, not a whole lot, from the American segment either. Obviously you have the Jeep SRT8, which is, an amazing car from what I've heard. I've never driven one, but this is great, because most people, obviously, if you're buying a large SUV, you're not looking to carve up corners, so the handling is almost not even worth mentioning, because it's fine, it's good. It's obviously not going to be as good as a sports car, but it's good enough, and so I think that's something that's not even of interest to most people that would be looking at something like this. But the power is great. It really is great to have that additional power of the supercharger, and it does it with a very factory feel. It doesn't feel like a crazy aftermarket goofy thing. The tune is a very safe tune, and everything about it is all very reasonably done. It's nothing out there or crazy, and I'm really just, that's the thing that really blows me away, is just how factory everything feels, even though it has way more power than stock and everything. Chevy should just do this as standard for an upper trim level of a Tahoe, because it's a very nice package, and especially this one, the LTZ. This is my first time being in an LTZ, and it's just decadent with all the brown leather in this one, and the wood trim and everything. It's so comfortable, and feels every bit worth its price tag, and I just really like it a lot. And I think, like I said, there's not a whole lot out there in the performance SUV segment, and this one is really, it does everything, and it has the 3 rows of seats and stuff, which most of these performance SUVs don't have, by the way. So this car has no competition, I think, and it's really good. I'm really impressed. Obviously, this is the kind of car you need lots of space, you need a large SUV. then this is really great. I'm really impressed with it. So once again, huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevrolet for hooking me up with this awesome Tahoe to review for you guys today. If you're interested in getting one of these supercharges done to your Tahoe or anything like that, definitely call them up. The link for their website is in the description. The phone number's in the description as well. Give them a call, and they'll be more than happy to help you out, with hooking your Tahoe up to, be just like this. And, it's really great. One last little acceleration here. Oh man, that sound, that induction sound just never gets old. Oh, so entertaining. So yeah, once again, like I said, huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevrolet, and huge thanks to all of you guys for watching it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.